Hello. In previous session, we have discussed about like MEC example, 11th example, all the 7 steps have completed. And now I'll start jQuery. jQuery Ajax we'll discuss. In beginning classes, have told about Ajax. So Ajax full form is asynchronous JavaScript and XML. It is a specification contains a set of standards. Specification means it is having some standards that all the technologies or markup languages should follow. So while working with this Ajax here, so we can create web pages in the website without Ajax functionality and with Ajax functionality. In ASP.NET, in ASP.NET MVC, web pages can be created without Ajax functionality. With the functionality also we can create. So if the web page is created without Ajax functionality, then it contains a postback and reloading the page. So postback means the page which is loaded in the server and it is submitted to the server. Postback means a round trip. Loading, submitting will be there. And reloading the page is will be there for several times. Like whenever you want to get updated information from the server, then every time the page should be reloaded. So reloading should be there. And while working with these web pages here, while working with web pages without Ajax functionality, the page is sent as request and will get the page as a response. So if multiple users accessing the website, if a page is going as request, if page is coming as a response, then there will be more burden on the server. Then execution is very slow. So all these drawbacks are there. But when we implement Ajax functionality for the pages in the website, then postback reloading concept will not be there. So we can send only the required data to the server. The whole page with interface will not go as request. So we can send only the data as request to the server, and we can get only the data as response from the server. Pages will not go. And we using Ajax, then after the page is loaded in the browser, you can update some portions of the page, some parts of the page directly in the browser itself. Directly in the browser, we can submit the pages in. We can update some portions of the web page, and with Ajax functionality, like here, asynchronous request will be there. Asynchronous request means like the page in the browser will remain same and URL or also remain same, but in the background internally the request is sent to the server, and server can update some portions of the web page directly in the browser itself. So while working with this web page here, while working with the web pages here, like with Ajax here, 4 types of Ajax is there: JavaScript Ajax, Microsoft Ajax, ASP.NET Ajax, jQuery Ajax. So in ASP.NET MVC, we'll use jQuery. So jQuery Ajax is there. Like jQuery is having jQuery HTML, jQuery CSS, then jQuery Ajax is there, effects is there, animation is there, many other options are available. So to implement Ajax functionality, jQuery Ajax functions are there. So we'll use those options. So here when you work with ASP.NET Ajax, so in ASP.NET Ajax, there we'll use controls. Like in ASP.NET Ajax, in a toolbox, in ASP.NET, in toolbox, Ajax extensions will be there. Like a script manager proxy, update panel, update progress, timer, all these are there. All these controls are used to implement Ajax functionality in ASP.NET pages. And the client-side controls, Ajax client-side controls means we have to use Ajax control toolkit.dll file. So using the DLL file, we can implement, we can use Ajax ASP.NET Ajax client-side controls. Okay, so with ASP.NET Ajax controls, drawbacks are there. So drawbacks means when we place update panels on the page. Let us say ASP.NET web page is having 4 update panels or 5 update panels. So using one update panel, if I am sending request, then other update panels also will be submitted. If I'm if I'm clicking inside the one update panel, then remaining update panels will not keep quiet. They are also submitted to the server. Means other controls also submitted to the server. So what should happen is, if I'm sending request using one update panel, then remaining the only the request should go to the server, and only that update panel should update, but remaining update panels are also updated. That is a major drawback with ASP.NET AJAX. ASP.NET AJAX, but in jQuery AJAX, it will not happens like that. Whatever data you send to the server, only it is submitted. The rest of the contents or the rest of the data in the page is not submitted to the server. And while working with this Ajax here, Ajax has become popular from 2005 or 2006, or here let it be 2005. Before also it is there. After it is being used in Gmail and Google Plus, in other sites, it has become very popular in Google Maps. When it is being used, it has become very popular. And if you want to work with a jQuery, like a jQuery is there, like this is a separate course. Like jQuery means it is a collection of JavaScript files. jQuery is developed using JavaScript. It is a collection of JavaScript files. So each JavaScript file contains collection of functions. jQuery means functions will be there, and those functions will use in the web pages. So jQuery means it is a collection of JavaScript files, and or we can say JavaScript library, and used to develop attractive and interactive web pages. Whenever you want to create a web page with new features or with new controls, then jQuery can be used because it is having new controls. Many new features are there, like many new options are available. So using them, we can give rich look. We can give attractive look to the page in the website. And jQuery Ajax is called as lightweight software. Lightweight software means write less, do more. So we'll write less code and we can get the required result. Required result we can get. And while working with this Ajax here, jQuery Ajax, so here to implement, here we can use jQuery 1.9.1 min.js is there. So this we can use. But when you work with MEC application, in MEC application script folder is there, and that script folder contains jQuery files which are already there. So here file a new project, ASP.NET Web Application. So here when you see the script folder, you can see the files here. jQuery 1.10.2 is there, and here JS file, min.js, all these are there. This file, this is the basic file. To work with jQuery, we have to use this JS file. So this is called development file, and this is a minified file or compressed file. So while developing the website, we can use development file. But when it is hosted or when it is running in production file or in a real-time server, then minified files we should use, compressed file. So minified file will take less memory, so file size is less. And while working with this minified file, so it does not have space. Then new lines comments all will not be there. Here you can see jQuery 1.10.js. So here you can see the lines here coding, and it is having 9,800 lines, 9,804 lines. And when you see the compressed file, minified file, so when you see this, so this contains so only three lines here. Here you can see 9,800 lines code is given in 300 three lines. Yeah, only in three lines it is given. So this it is very long. It is too long here. So column, like in each line, here it is containing 32,000 characters. 32,000 columns. These are the columns characters it is giving. So these are to implement Ajax functionality, we have to use this jQuery 1.10.2.js. But if you want to use the latest version of jQuery, then we can open the official site. So here I'll use jQuery.com. Here you can see download jQuery version 3.1. In MVC application 1.10 is there, and this is the latest version. Click on this. So if you want to download development file or production file, you can choose. Here both are there. Compressed file means production file. Uncompressed means development file. So in Firefox, when I click on the file, it is showing the contents, but it should ask for download. Open or save, it should ask. So now the same site is open in Google Chrome. So here you can see production file. So this is opening. So here this is not asking for download, and this is not the proper way, right way of doing this. But here I'm doing like this: file save, content is copied in Notepad. Here I'm giving the file name. So like this I'm giving. So I'll copy this in downloads folder, any location. So in downloads folder it is there. Here you can see. So if you are unable to download, copy the content in Notepad and give the same file name. So min.js. And if you want to work with the development file also, same thing. .js you can save the file. So if I want to use this in the MVC application, right click on scripts folder. Like if I want to use the latest version, right click on scripts folder, add existing item. Here I'm selecting this file. So like this we can add. Here you can see latest version. jQuery 3.1, 3.1, 3.3.1.min.js. Like this we can add. If you want to work with the jQuery latest version. So here when you are working with jQuery 1.10 or jQuery 3.3.1, like here $.ajax function is there here. This we have to use. Many predefined functions are available, and while working with the jQuery, the syntax is like this. Like jQuery statement starts with $sign, and inside bracket selector is given, and function name. Function name is given. So function name is given here. So here $selector. When you work with CSS, three selectors will be there, like HTML selector, ID selector, and class selector. HTML selector means the selector is created with a tag name, HTML tag name, like h1 div tag, paragraph tag, like that. So the meaning of selector is whenever you want to give the name for the style, then selector is used. So style is the combination of background color, text colors, borders, margins, alignment, font name, font style, font size. All these we can use. Style is the combination of all these. Okay. So selector means it contains some style, background color, text color, border, margins, alignment, font name. All these will be there. So here I am telling about HTML selector. HTML selector, it is created with the HTML tag name, like h1 and div tag, paragraph tag, all these. Okay. And a class ID selector is there. ID selector is created with hash symbol, and it works on any HTML tag. And a class selector is created with a dot selector name, and it is used on any HTML tag. On any HTML tag, it is used. So here, when the if the statement is starting with $symbol, it is a jQuery statement. Okay, and selector means it can be HTML selector or class selector or ID selector, anything. And here we are giving dot function name. jQuery function will write. Like a function is used to perform some task on the selector. It is used to perform some action on the selector. Like here function means it can be click function, double click function, or HTML function, append function. Many other are there. Those names we can use here. And while working with this function, here you can see brackets, curly brackets. Within this we can write the statements. So here $dot function Ajax is the predefined function. It is used to implement Ajax functionality. Many other functions are available. We'll use other functions also. So in Ajax function you can see here opening bracket, flower bracket opening is given URL. Here we'll give the URL, server path will give, controller name and method name will give, and we'll specify whether the method is get method or post method or put method or delete, anything. So HTTP 4 methods are there. We can use all those 4 methods. And here content type is there. Application slash JSON character UTF-8 is given. UTF-8 means Unicode format, and the meaning of this is like here it is used to specify how we are sending the content, like in which format. So in MVC application, when we are sending the request and when we get the response, it is in JSON format. JSON means JavaScript object notation. It is alternative to XML. So JSON is lightweight, so works fast compared with XML. So here we are saying that we are going to send request in JSON format, and the data type JSON is there. It is used to specify how, in which format we are getting the response. Here we are saying that we are getting the response in JSON format. So this is for request, and this is to get the response. If server is displaying the result, then this success property will work. Success, then function name. Here JavaScript function will give. And if a server is unable to show the result, then error is displayed. So here whatever function name we give, JavaScript function, it will show the result. and whatever function that we give here, it is to show error from the server. So all these are there. So in Ajax function, we are using all these properties and values: URL, date type, content type, data type, success, fail, all these. So all these are given, and if server is giving the result output, then here you can say function, function name, then response is given, and response statement is given here. Statements is given. So here while working with this response is the object name we are giving. So when you work with JavaScript, will not have any data types. In JavaScript, no data types, no declaration. Declaration will not be there. Whatever name we use there, it is used as variable name or object name. That response object contains the output. That output is displayed in browser. Here we'll write the code to display the result in browser. And if any error is there, then we'll write this function name xhr is given. This is the variable name or object name, and xhr dot response text is given. So this is the predefined property in JavaScript. See, these functions are JavaScript functions, not jQuery functions. While creating JavaScript functions, any name you can give, and you can display the result in any format. So here function name xhr is given. Response text is a predefined property. So this is used to display the server error message. Server error message is displayed. And while working with this response text, so response text is in camel notation. Response is in lowercase. Text T is capital. This is called camel notation. Pascal notation means every word begins with capital letter. So if this is in Pascal notation, R capital, T capital. But now this is in camel notation. First word lowercase. Second word or third word or fourth word starts with capital letters. And here you can see alert. So alert is for message box. Alert xhr dot response text is given. This will show the server error message. And here else alert unknown server error it is giving here. Unknown server error means if server is unable to identify the error, then it will give this message unknown server error. If server is able to identify where exactly the error is, then this is used. So here to implement Ajax functionality in ASP.NET MVC pages. So to implement Ajax functionality in .cshtml pages, then this function we should use. Ajax function we need to use it. And other functions also will use. So not only Ajax function, other functions will use here. So now I'll start the 12th example. So in 12th example, we should perform 4 steps here. So first we'll create a table. After that, ADO.NET EDM entity data model. After that, controller. After that, views. Only 4 steps we'll do in this, in 12th example. So before creating application, so here we'll use this table here, database and table. So in this example, in 12th example, here I'll create first page. That first page will take a name and it will display hello to username, hello to the given name. Only just displaying hello to name. That is the first page in 12th example. Second page works with the table called movies, and there we'll do searching in second page. In second page, I'll give movie title or director name or stars names I'll give. So that should check in the table whether the title is there or director name is there or stars name is there. So if the data is available, then it should display the records in table in a second page. Okay. So to work with the table, or to show the result in table format, then this table creation we are doing here. So after opening Management Studio, here for 12th example, one table is there here. So one script file is there, SQL script file, Bollywood is there, double click on this. So this will open in Management Studio. So here the script file is opened in Management Studio. Select all the lines, press F5. So database is created, table is created, and records are also stored in the table. So here you can see Bollywood is a database name, and here it contains table called movies. So in these movies, 10 records are there with movie details. So here these are the details here: movie ID, movie title. So names are given, year of release, and description about the movie, story, and movie length in minutes, director, stars, and photo location is there here. So here content, in content folder we have to create images folder and movies folder. So in that movies folder we have to place all these images. Image1.jpg. Here only content folder is there. In that content folder we have to create images. We have to create images and movies folder. In movies folder we have to place these images here. Here these images are there. We have to place these images. So these are the images here. Say no need to use the same content. Like if you can give the values, record like this movie description you can give, and here you can see like movie or true or false, and the website URL is there, like URL of the site of related to the movie. So the URL is given. Here you can see the content. And the table is created like this. So to understand how the creation is done, here create table Bollywood, use Bollywood is given, create table movies, then movie ID, movie title, year of release, then where description, length in minutes, director, star. So movie photo path, like a bit is given to show true or false, website name, all these. So one record is given here. So table name values, movie ID, movie name, year of release, description of the movie, and movie length in minutes. Then director of the movie, then stars in the movie, then images of the movie. So in MV's application, content folder is already there. In content folder, we have to create images folder. In images folder, we have to create movies folder, and we should add all the images. Just now I've shown. And here like is there, 1 or 0. So 1 means true, 0 means false, and this is a URL of uh, the site, movie related site. So here this is the first step here, creating database and table. So I'm stopping here. So tomorrow I'll continue with this 12th example. So in 12th example we'll see how to work with ADO.NET EDM, second step. Then after that creating controller, then creating views. All we'll see in tomorrow's class. Tomorrow I'm taking class. So class will be at 11 to 12 I'll take. Is it okay for you? 11 to 12? Or I'll take from 9 to 10. 9 to 10 is okay, or 11 to 12 is okay for you? Which time is comfortable? 11 to 12, okay. So then tomorrow I'll take class from 11 to 12 only. And I'll continue with the 12th example. Okay? Okay, bye then.